This week on Storyboard, in our special series Lockdown Leadership, we catch up with Madison Sam Balsar to find out how he and his organization are dealing with this lockdown and how are they keeping their teams motivated. And we also catch up with Tarun Katyal of Z5 and Nachiket Pantvaidya of Alt Balaji to find out how subscription has grown so far and what will change post the lockdown. Hello and welcome to Storyboard. This is Shibani Kharat, and in our special series Lockdown Leadership, we are catching up with some of the leaders from our very own media and advertising industry to find out how are they leading from front in these tough times. And today we have on the show Madison's Sam Balsara. Sam, welcome to Storyboard.
Thank you, Shibani. My pleasure.
How is Madison and your agencies functioning during this entire lockdown? What are the key challenges?
Well, I must say, I'm surprised at the speed with which we've got used to managing with WFH. I think we have now been at it now for over 5 weeks, I think. And I must say, within the first week, we got used to the idea. So I think it was way back on a Monday that we decided to work from home from the very next day, that is Tuesday. So I think those who had laptops didn't pose much of a problem. We had to make sure that we gave remote access to our company servers after putting in the necessary security protocols. Those who didn't have laptops, we managed to get some laptops for them, or in some cases, we actually transported their office desktops to their homes. So I think within about 48 hours, we were actually completely in business. In terms of challenges, well, the major challenge for the company is that the advertising activity has, considerably collapsed. So whilst we are doing a lot of work, there is very little to show for it in terms of actual billing. But here again, what we are trying to do is use this time gainfully. For example, we have put in place a lot of training sessions which were sort of pending for some time. We have ideated on, what are the new things that we should be recommending to our clients.
Sam, you mentioned that there is a sizable decrease in the ad spend. So in such a situation, what will be your advice to your clients, to your brands?
My advice would be that brands should somehow find ways to keep themselves alive in the consumer's mind. I understand that, money is tight, cash flow is difficult, but I genuinely believe that those brands who continue to remain alive at this time in the consumer's mind are going to benefit hugely, once things return to normal. I think in that context, I must say Amul has done a wonderful job. And I think by spending very little at a time like this, I think they've remained top of mind. And I think that's to my mind a wise thing to do. It also may not necessarily, you need not necessarily stay active in consumers' mind only through mass media advertising. You could use the social media pages, we could use influencer marketing, use some fast and ready videos for the brand, put out messages which would be relevant to the consumer, which are not, directly sales oriented. I think these are the kind of things that brands should do at a time like this to keep themselves alive in the consumer's mind and also get the consumer's goodwill. Brands, of course, now it is widely circulated that brands should not be seen as trying to take advantage of the current situation.
Sam, you mentioned how are you keeping your teams motivated, but there is so much of uncertainty around us. There is a lingering fear of job cuts, and of course, there is a fear of salary cuts, etc. In such a situation, what are you telling your employees? How are you, addressing these anxieties, these fears straight from the front?
Well, I think the first priority for all leaders is to be in constant touch with their people, and which is what to do at Madison. So, for example, we have review calls with all our. It's For example, I just told you that with media we do calls twice a week. PR we do once a week. We stay in touch with the entire leadership team, tell them what is happening so each one knows what is exactly happening at Madison and at the client's end. But obviously, the priority at a time like this would be topmost would be to try and keep the company afloat. The second priority would be to keep employee remuneration going, and only if the situation continues for in time for a long time, then I guess some furloughs and job cuts would become inevitable. But I do hope that that situation does not arise in India, at least in the advertising sector. I believe within the overall communication sector, it is outdoor and activation and events which would be most hurt, because they rely on activity that is outside the home, that is on the roads, or they rely on congregation of people. So that activity is likely to hurt the most. And that is where we need to really put our thinking caps on of how we could utilize these people.
Interestingly, so much has changed around us in the past couple of weeks. What, according to you, is the biggest learning from this crisis?
Well, we have put all discretionary expenditure completely on hold. So I'm afraid we will not be able to participate in awards. We'll not be able to do all the things which are sort of nice to do, which require a certain expenditure, because I think we want to use whatever reserves we have and also whatever money we're able to generate to be able to pay salaries. Everything else, unfortunately, will have to take a back seat at a time like this.
You spoke about how our team's speaking to Vikram to understand the personal side of him. Tell me something. You mentioned you're keeping your employees motivated through different activities, but at a personal front, on a personal front, how are you as a leader, how are you as a person keeping yourself motivated? What are the activities that you're doing? Any new hobbies that you're pursuing? Something that you've taken up which you always wanted to in the past? Can you share that?
Well, the one new activity that has entered my life is gardening. What I do is I now do yoga every day. Earlier, I used to do yoga 3 times a week, and I used to walk almost 3 times a week. I think I now do yoga every day of the week in the mornings.
Well, Sam, thank you so much. Thanks for speaking to us. And he is keeping himself motivated in a great way by pursuing yoga and gardening. Well, now it is time for us to take a short break. On the other side of this break, we catch up with two OTT players to find out how the content landscape will change post the lockdown is lifted. Welcome back. You're watching Storyboard straight from my home. Well, owing to the nationwide lockdown, there's a clear surge in digital consumption, giving a massive opportunity to OTT players. So how has the subscription revenue grown so far? What are the opportunities when it comes to advertising revenue, and what will change in terms of content landscape post the lockdown is lifted? Well, we have two OTT players on the show today talking to Storyboard's Ankita Saxena. We have Tarun Katyal from Z5 and Nachiket Pant Vaidya from Alt Balaji. Listen in.
Hi Tarun, hi Nachiket, welcome to CNBC TV18.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hi.
Tarun, I want to begin by asking you, on the 25th of March, the government announced a lockdown for 21 days, and then post that the lockdown was extended to the 4th of May. Now, with no means of entertainment and nowhere to go, it has led to an all-time high internet consumption. And, amidst this huge surge in video consumption, what has been your game plan? It's a huge opportunity for all the OTT players.
Over the last 18 to 24 months, I've made some significant investments in getting original content. We've done over 100 series of original shows, and are including our partnership with Alt Balaji, which grew that library even bigger. And this was really the time that has come to good use for all that money. Our original content as well as movie consumption grew over 200%. I've seen some reports on Bark saying that they've grown over 120% for original series. But I can tell you, because of the library that we have, we've seen over 200% growth in consumption of originals and movies.
Yes. What about you, Nachiket? What has been your content strategy so far?
Well, the opportunity lies in the face of adversity. In terms of numbers, we have seen an uptake of more than 70 to 80% in our daily subscribers. From 10,000 subscribers per day, we have gone to acquiring 17 to 20,000 subscribers per day. And the reason for that is because a whole new mass audience has opened up to consumption in India because of the pandemic. The second big fallout is that without spending advertising dollars, we are able to acquire new subscribers, simply because now it's become a necessity of life to log on to an OTT platform and see shows in a language that people can understand.
What about you, Tarun? Have you seen a shuffle in the subscription numbers? Have your subscription numbers gone up? What about your revenues? And while the AWAT services are expected to do well, what about the SWAT services? Has there been an increase in the subscription in the SWAT services as well?
Yes, our subscribers grew 2x, and our average subscribers have grown humongously. Our daily active users have gone up about over 30%, and downloads have gone up about 45% in this period. And we've also seen some significant watch time improvement. If you look at some of the tier 1 cities, they grew about 50%. We've seen some very big growth numbers on subscribers. What we're also seeing is that people are now watching a lot of this content on smart TVs and connected devices. We've seen that consumption also go up at about 60%. So not only is this mobile consumption, but it's also TV consumption. We're also seeing live channel consumption that's grown up significantly on our platform, especially for news channels. So both on the AWAT side and on the SWAT side, we've seen some very significant growth.
Nachiket, you made a very interesting point about the surge of new mass audience. Now, how will the consumer landscape or the way in which people are consuming content change post the lockdown? Because a lot of experts believe that this is the time where new consumer behaviors will be formed. I mean, look at the viewership of DD for Ramayana and Mahabharata. There's a huge, sharp increase in the numbers. How will this change post the lockdown, and will this also change your own content strategy?
There are two things that will definitely see a change according to me. One is that mass India, which was not exposed to OTT platforms today, is suddenly now going to say, here is a non-scheduled choice for me to see stories in a language and a cultural setting that I understand. Therefore, it will get in a whole new set of audience, particularly in the underserved male section, especially in the class 2, class 3 towns and rural hinterlands. Second, I think pertinent observation there for us as a subscriber platform, as a pay platform, is that we are priced at less than a rupee a day. And for this new mass audience, we are very affordable. So I think OTT will have to look at affordability as a key peg if they are a pay OTT, if they are a SVOD or a subscriber video led platform.
So you mean that besides great content, the pricing will play a very important role in pulling in the audience?
Exactly. You have to be affordable. You have to be affordable to the person who is in the prepaid telco segment. Right now, I think OTTs are, or OTTs which are priced at 1,000 rupees a year may have to relook and come to price points of 300 a year, 200 a year, which is where we are right now, to allow entry for these new masses. Masses will not even pay 300 rupees to come on. Our suspicion is not more than 100 rupees to try something new. And I think that will be the entry price point.
Tarun, what about the advertisers? The economy was in any case in a really bad state, and then this pandemic. The media planners were predicting a digital AdX growth of 28 to 30% this year, which is clearly not going to be the case. Now, there is almost a dichotomy that's happening there. You have the consumer eyeballs, there's a surge in the subscription numbers, but are you able to monetize it? Because it's a ripe environment for the advertisers to advertise with an increased supply of online biddable inventory. The CPMs are going to be low, so it's a ripe environment for the advertisers. But are the advertisers willing to loosen their purse strings, or has the advertising completely fallen off the cliff?
I can tell you there is a shift in AdX that is happening. That was happening or predicted to happen even before COVID and lockdown. Digital was to grow much, much faster than all other platforms, including print and radio. Print and radio was sold in small single digits. I don't think digital will grow that humongously now, but I can tell you that it will continue to grow and will be the medium of choice. And in all of that, I think digital video is really growing much better than even overall digital advertising. While we are seeing slowdown in advertising, we are seeing some list of advertisers drop out. But I can tell you that if I look at all around, this would be much better off in this situation than most other platforms or most other media.
Nachiket, what are you seeing there?
To add to that, I think we will see a new breed of digital advertisers emerging. If the physical world is hampered because of the current pandemic, I think people who will want to build their businesses in the digital world will look to advertise increasingly. For example, Alt Balaji itself is now able to advertise at a much lower rate than what it did, say, in Jan, Feb, March, simply because there is an oversupply of inventory, and therefore it's that much less expensive for us to acquire new consumers. So I think this demand supply shift will play out very, very favorably for people in the digital world, because for them, acquisition probably will be at a lower advertising rate. Of course, I agree with you. Advertising inventory will not be all full up. But from our business perspective, that's great, because today we can acquire a consumer at probably 70 or even 60 rupees. And that was earlier about 100 rupees in Jan, Feb, March.
Nachiket, all Balaji had announced some 25 to 30 shows for 2020. Now, how has the lockdown impacted that, Also, Taran, you had mentioned that you were seeing a 200% growth for originals and movies. The Bach Nielsen data also says that the original and movies are fueling the growth. What do you do in a period of lockdown when the content pipeline goes dry because the shootings, the production has all come to a standstill?
Right. I think good question. We are kind of very well placed in that situation because of our entire pipeline that was created. We would anyway made a lot of shows that were ready to go and that are continuing to be released. So in the last 2 weeks of the lockdown, we've already released Who's Your Daddy? We've released a new film on the 10th called. We plan to release another 4 or 5 films and release in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So we are well placed, yeah. It's just I think our pipeline and our investments is coming to great use.
Well, there is no question that we are seeing a 3-month delay in our business plans. But let me say one thing, that we have about 10 shows already in various stages of production. So the shows that we can post-produce, we can actually work from home and post-produce. To actually edit a show, you just need one person sitting with a computer at home and doing the work.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
In a cricket-crazy nation like ours, a message gets best delivered when it comes through country's most loved cricketers. In a bid to create more awareness about creating your own mask, practice hand washing and safe social distancing, government has roped in cricketers from across age categories and gender. This campaign, titled Mask Force, is created by Ogilvy India and features cricketers from Virat Kohli to Sachin Tendulkar, Saurabh Ganguly, Mithila Raj and Smriti Mandana. Let's take a look.
आप अपनी पूरी फैमिली के साथ हमें चेयर करते हैं और आज मैं आपकी पूरी फैमिली से ही बात करने आया हूँ। टीम इंडिया का हिस्सा होना एक बहुत गर्व की बात है, पर आज एक उससे भी बड़ी टीम बनने जा रही है, टीम मास्क फोर्स। नहीं समझे?
जैसे हमारे प्रधानमंत्री ने कोरोना वायरस से लड़ने के लिए तरह तरह के टास्क फोर्स बनाए हैं,
उसी तरह हम 130 करोड़ हिंदुस्तानियों को भी अपने घरों में कोरोना वायरस के खिलाफ बनानी है एक मास्क फोर्स।
मास्क फोर्स का हिस्सा बनना बहुत ही आसान है। बस घर बैठे बैठे अपने लिए एक मास्क बनाइए, जैसे मैंने ये बनाया है। फौजी आपका मास्क कहाँ है?
ये देख, मैंने ये बनाया है।
ये है मेरा मास्क।
और घर के बाहर इस मास्क को हमेशा पहनना है।
ये मैंने बनाया है।
ये किसी भी साफ कॉटन के कपड़े से बनाया जा सकता है और डिजाइन भी जो आपको पसंद हो, है ना? बढ़िया,
बहुत चंगा है।
कम ऑन इंडिया, मास्क बनाओ और मास्क फोर्स का हिस्सा बन जाओ। और हाँ, याद रहे, साथ ही 20 सेकंड तक हाथ भी धोने हैं और सामाजिक दूरी भी बनाए रखनी है। ये है मेरा मास्क।
मास्क घर बैठे आसानी से कैसे बनाना है, इसकी सारी जानकारी आपको आरोग्य सेतु ऐप पर मिल जाएगी। आज ही डाउनलोड कर लीजिए।
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Thanks for watching and we'll be back same time next week. See you soon. Stay home, stay safe.